what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and we've got a hot-packed one for you. We are going to try our best to not say bad words. So first, we're kicking off how a government entity, the Octagon -3, has been funding in their budget Mr. Beast, Guy Fieri, Kelly Clarkson, and the likes of other celebrities. That followed up with how McDonald's, Apple, Meta, and more major companies are declaring that they are dropping DEI initiatives to further succeed in the market. And we're going to wrap the episode up with playing the game. Are you an Elder Millennial? An interesting, we're going to be doing a BuzzFeed quiz, essentially. But I want to see, there's going to be a lot of great conversation that sparks from that. But without further ado, first, let me introduce the Pickle Gallery hanging in the wing there. Silent Destroyer. Silent, how you doing today?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. How's everybody doing today?
Good. How's streaming going? How's the thing on Kick?
It's going amazing. We're live every single day. Kick.com/SoundDestroyer. Make sure to check it out. And yeah, it's, we haven't missed a single day since last year, February. So we're going to keep it going.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Anniversary
Only
date.
up from here, baby.
That's it. Exactly.
That's right. All right. And joining me as always, co-host, my good friend, Will Hubert. How you doing?
It's happy to be here, man. Just
Are
happy
you
to be here. I
thrilled?
talk about the Double D's budget. It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. I didn't even know anything about this topic before you brought it up earlier.
Well, we've got a lot in store.
I know you said Kelly Clarkson's name is in there. Isn't she like doing like Trump's inauguration Monday?
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Like that, like was trending on the internet.
Well, you know what?
Maybe it's Carrie Underwood. Maybe I'm getting confused. It's some white woman. It's some white.
How
country
crazy
singer.
is it that I get them confused? You may have saved me from a great talking point when we get to this.
I genuinely.
Because I was gonna say my dad loves Kelly Clarkson on Monday Night Football, but no, it's Carrie Underwood.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Kelly's good. Keep doing Sunday Night Football.
Oof.
She's in the clear. I'm sure she's in the clear to some people right now.
To some, but before we dive into the topic, on the keys as always, Dougie Fresh. Doug, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm just dandy. I am excited to find out how old I am when we get to that game at the end. I have a feeling I'm probably pretty old.
I think you're 30.
Doug, you were 60 when we were 10. And kicking off the first topic of the day. Again, walk the line with us. The Octagon -3 has been caught in their audit budget. First, you know what? I'm going to share the screen so you guys can actually. I had a conversation with ChatGPT. I wanted to see, like roughly how much are we spending on these cast of characters. Here's what I learned. Where is it? So ChatGPT tells me, first, of course, we spend money on movies and film consulting, and like Will said earlier, the Double D's out here juicing it for cash. To bring positive attention to the military and hopefully provoke people to join it and become a part of it and put it in a favorable light and twist narratives in their favor. There's all these justifications, but of course, and while exact spending figures for the Pentagon's investments in film and media are difficult to pinpoint, it is clear that the Double D's has committed significant resources to Hollywood collaborations and domestic media efforts. The funding can be in the tens of hundreds of millions per year, depending on the type of project and scope. So how much? Do you have a ballpark estimate of how much it is at minimum? And it gives you the hoogie, the doobie, you can let,
Hoogie,
the booby,
the Scooby Dooby.
all the way in here at the bottom. Estimated, wait. Combining these, we can ballpark the Pentagon's total spending on movies, domestic media, and related entertainment outreach is likely at least $500 to $600 million of your taxpayer dollars is going to Mr. Beast recreating Squid Game.
It's a recruitment tool.
It's a tell me more, Doug. You were all excited. You were like, I could have told you I'm better than Chat.
Oh,
he
because,
literally
like,
said that.
Dave,
better than
I mean, any military movie has government like funding. So like Final Countdown is a movie I watched with my dad years ago, and it's like about a aircraft carrier that goes back in time to Pearl Harbor. I mean, okay movie, but like all filmed on an aircraft carrier, all filmed at sea, all filmed with military jets, and they were fully involved in that. And you know what? They want that because it's a recruitment tool. It shows the people, the life, the planes. So why not fund that stuff to make it look better? And it looks favorably on you, the military.
You, the military? Well, so here's and again, this isn't just, hyperbole or exaggeration. So these are like a lot of these videos that you saw Mr. Beast make, trying to outrun the military. Can I hide from the military? Blowing up things with the military.
Charlie's in the bushes.
These things weren't a fluke.
No.
And they come with a hefty price tag. So one,
Apparently
it's
$500
not a
million.
small amount of money, but two, this is what it's going towards. So also, I'm saying a lot, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast. Dude, we're giving tens of millions of dollars to Guy Fieri.
What about Hollywood
The
too?
guy.
Dude looks like he could eat.
What about
He
Hollywood
looks hungry,
too, right?
man. Throw the guy a bone.
Was that silent?
I said, what about Hollywood too, right? Mr. Beast catching a lot of the heat, but what about Hollywood? They've been doing it for decades now, making all those pro-war movies and
Top
recruitment
Gun?
tool
Saving
movies
Private
and
Ryan was a
Top
good
Gun,
movie.
yeah. Rebooting Top Gun, crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe that they actually did
Second Top Gun was awesome.
They
Pretty
got
good.
Doug. But see,
I
I
haven't seen
want
it,
to ask
so.
you this. I lose half a paycheck every 2 weeks. And a good hefty chunk of that went to Top Gun 2. Now, who is that for? Not me.
Nope.
I'm
Not
bald,
me.
bald face, no mustache. Doug seems to be the most excited and into it amongst all of us. So you're telling me this was a good use of my money because it's compelling people to be a part of the military. Yet, did Doug jump at the opportunity to laying his life down because of Top Gun 2? No, this is Doug on his couch, just wailing popcorn going, this movie, too big, booms.
I looked into joining the military as a kid. Problem was I have just about broken every bone in my body, so I'm pretty sure I would never pass any military tests.
So is this a
Doug.
good use of our money?
Doug, I want you to get your ass in that goddamn cockpit.
Oh,
See the simulations run.
I'd love it. Hey, but you know what the military does do every year? They come to Cleveland, Burke Lakefront Airport, and we get to see either the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds from the Air Force, and those are the top two military air show performances yearly. And we get to one of the two biggest ones every year in Cleveland. That's what the military does. I mean, dude, I love as a kid going there, seeing all the stuff up parked out there, and you get to see the show perform for you. That's our tax dollars, but you know what? I love it. I go every year. I like the air shows are worth the tax dollars.
Yeah, but that's
Imagine getting a healthcare instead. Wow.
Well,
How much better would that be?
Canada, buddy.
What?
I just don't see the point of all of that money for film. Like Doug, I like your point about like Blue Angels and like the show they do, but that's like a show you can like go and see. I don't necessarily want Double D's money like influencing like the media kind of in that sense, like even just like films. And again, I didn't view like
Domestically.
again, I like the Top Gun remake. I didn't view it as necessarily I get it, and I know the original too was like a propaganda film for like joining the Air Force and stuff like that. But I admit, like
Navy.
or the Navy, yeah, or like any of the armed forces. But in that, I'm not gonna hate on the movie in that sense. But it's like $500 million a year. $500 million a year for Tom Cruise to just go on
a lot of
plane and
money
fly
to run
himself.
those jets, man.
Well, let me criticize a term of art that, to anybody is just a word used in the field. However, it carries so much dark shadowed evil that we just accept as a part of our life. Marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing. What is marketing? And marketing has evolved to where we don't want your TikTok because it's stealing our data. What does that mean? Because that means under the guise of marketing, they're telling us they're stealing your geographical data, the usage, how you're using your phone, how they can, and what is that data valuable for? How does a company like Google make trillions of dollars off of your data? What's the value to it? Why is it the highest traded commodity? Because it's for control. Marketing is taking that data and controlling you to buy my new Yeezys. Sure, but truly it's to control and compel action. So you're saying you're taking $500 million and it's okay because we feel like we have free will. Like, I haven't watched Top Gun. Doug has. So, it's not like they're forcing it on us. You didn't have to watch it. It's just for entertainment. And if it has a zhuzh of positivity towards our agenda, that's just its own thing. But I want to emphasize, don't get delicately, don't get lost in the glitter of what truly marketing is. And this is tons and tons of your money being spent in a way to control and trick you.
So is Double D, like, I get they'd spend the money on like Top Gun, but like, are they doing it for like the Minion movie?
Let's break it down. So
is it just like particular movies where
what is the one that came through in the audit? Guy Fieri's Guy's All-American Road Trip had a production assistant agreement. And in 2023, the Navy, Army, and Air Force all failed to meet their recruitment goals. So then they re-established that same contract again in hopes of, and again, you're not seeing, maybe it's because there's a complete distrust in that system. Like, just the whole general system together, that like, doesn't matter how much bacon Guy Fieri eats on the military base, still doesn't look like something I'm going to be jumping into.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's such a like vague kind of category. Like, what films, what media is used to present as like propaganda? Because like, again, like, why is Guy Fieri in the freaking Double D military movie budget? It makes no sense.
Guy Fieri, dude.
Like, what's next? Minions 2? Like,
we're talking about a cartoon character that's sorority. He's only relevant because a sorority girl party dresses up as him. Like, here's a whole bunch of chicks dressed as Guy Fieri. That's a funny TikTok. Yeah. That's about the ceiling of Guy Fieri's relevance.
Let's put $500 million in this bastard.
He's a meme. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
What they do with Mr. Beast. So movies that have benefited included Armageddon, Black Hawk Down, Transformers, James Bond, Top
Transformers,
Gun.
Go back to, I'm sorry, Transformers. Transformers. Armageddon. What are we doing here? Black Hawk Down, sure. It's like, that's a military movie.
But again, we got excited when the Pentagon, the Octagon -3 finally told us that aliens exist.
Double D's making up stories.
And they were like, oh my God, aliens exist, right?
Dude, Independence Day was in there.
Don't forget. Oh, I'm sure.
Welcome to Earth. $500 million.
Your tax dollars.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, so first off, something like Transformers, that's really to get us desensitized to the idea of aliens. Mm-hmm. Like, those types of things are like, so we could finally start telling you guys the truth. Maybe
Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Supposedly, Elon is currently trying to purchase TikTok rather than shutting it down. Then he'll have more success to everyone's access to everyone's data. We're moving into the era of digital currency. Yeah, this is scary.
I mean,
I agree with Brad Richardson. That goes in a scary direction. Yeah. But can I also, I just want to say, I don't know if it would necessarily end up like that. That's kind of like the doomsday, but it's fair to think like that. You should. But secondly, and this is I don't think he would buy TikTok. And I think it's for the same reason I don't think this is likely to happen. And it's because the dude owns Vine. Like, do we forget the guy owns Vine? Twitter bought Vine.
Yeah, but they don't
Elon can resurrect Vine at any point.
But they don't have all the videos and servers from Vine, don't they? I thought all the videos and everything were deleted.
Even if that's so, Doug.
I could have faith in Elon to rebuild.
I
the
want
servers.
if he recreates Vine and can get the videos that were out
No,
there. Alex,
Doug,
your videos
you
were
just bottomed
gold.
out the whole point. The point I'm trying to make. Dude, if I lose videos that I made when I was 17, I'll live.
But they were
Guess what I'm
gold.
doing right now? Trying to download every TikTok. First, it's just a very manual process, but also 2019 wasn't that funny. Gotta tell you. Guess what? There's maybe like a couple like, but most of these it was like, this was because I was trapped in a room, bored. So, and that's like, talk to a comedian. They don't like watching their old shit. So, Doug, I don't think I need TikToks or Vines from a high schooler. But what
Why even own Vine?
They own Vine, like the brand, the platform. They can. So all I'm saying is they can resurrect it at any time.
Yeah.
I think it would be asinine to buy TikTok while you sit on Vine.
It's just because it's relevant, it's popular. Like, for instance, like everyone always says, "Oh, bring back Vine," but it's like if Vine were to just suddenly pop up, I don't think it'd be anywhere close to as popular as TikTok, just because TikTok is the thing,
Right.
like currently right now.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. So, Mr. Beast, he had his military videos, and like we said,
You mentioned
It
Kelly
was
Clarkson. Like, what?
Kelly Clarkson.
Where's she in that? Like, there's no way that's movies.
So
And film,
there apparently was some free concert that was
it's
available
free. Who
for
cares?
people to visit, but then also free on television. And what's funny is they say Biden's Octagon -3 poured money into Kelly Clarkson and Guy Fieri in a desperate bid to recruit Gen Z. Here's what's funny. There's no world Guy Fieri's more popular with Gen Z than he is the older generations.
Why is Kelly Clarkson famous to Gen Z?
I'm just saying, you didn't think like Charlie D'Amelio might have like
That's
a
what I
better
mean.
impact
Like,
than Kelly Clarkson?
yeah, like 500 billion, 500 million. I mean,
and see, here's the thing. Don't get lost in the numbers. It's not necessarily that I'm mad that you're spending that much money, but it's that you're spending it such in the wrong direction.
yeah, it's like so like egregiously poor money management there.
Yeah.
It's like we're again like Transformers as like this movie propaganda, and it's like, ooh, for selling toys. Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
is it, and again, you're probably right. It's for the selling the idea of aliens, but it's like, dude, ET's been around since the 80s. I don't think we necessarily need the Transformers money making toy machine to put that money.
Dude, don't be surprised at how like their involvement in like. Do you remember that movie? I think it was like Paul or something
Yep.
with Seth
Yep.
Rogen, and
Yep.
he was playing an alien.
the stoner
don't-
film. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself when that is probably a major film for them.
I wonder
Just
if how many of these are
desensitizing.
tax write-offs though for them. You get what I mean?
They are the tax, dude. What are you talking? What are you talking
I
about?
guess you're right.
They.
Guess you're right.
Speaking of which, because then I do need to get it to silent, but to silent destroyer, because that sounds weird. If you don't finish it, I'm not gonna go silent on you guys anyway.
I think they know who we're talking about. Brad
Maybe.
Richardson definitely knows who we're talking about.
Brad does know. Anyway, can't account. So the
What?
Octagon -3 can't
Oh my
account
god.
for $824 million. And Simon, let me get your thoughts, and then I'll transition to something else.
Yeah, look, like I said, I definitely think it's all a waste of money. There's really no point in spending this much stuff. You can spend it on so much more productive things, like maybe solving homelessness, maybe some sort of healthcare system that is accessible to more people than the current one. Maybe some sort of thing where insurance rates are not so high, some sort of, I don't know, like rebate or subsidy or something, literally anything that will actually benefit the average American. Whereas this stuff is just propaganda that's just brainwashing you and not benefiting you at all. It's just steering you in a certain direction, which is, hello, join us, become one of the military industrial complex machine, become become another number that we're going to send off to some unimportant proxy war where we extract resources and loot people and you get to die. But hey, free college when you come back.
Woohoo! Hey, but this is brought to you by Feastables. Yo, speaking of which, and again, this is kind of what I'd rather platform your thoughts off. Speaking of an entity that takes such an amount of money, and the comment of I'd be more satisfied if I was knowing it was being spent in an appropriate manner. Here's Jon Stewart. You know, sometimes he has his misses, but sometimes a guy hits the ball square on the bat. And this is him speaking with Defense Secretary
20 years of war, and the Pentagon got a $50 billion raise. Like, that's shocking to me. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs and the incredible magic of an audit, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's fucking corruption. I'm sorry. And if that blows your mind, and if you think like that's like a crazy agenda for me to have, I really think that that's institutional thinking, and that it's not looking at the day-to-day reality of the people that you call the greatest fighting force in the world. So I get back to this idea of like, I'm not looking to pick a fight with you, but I am surprised at that the reaction to these questions are, you don't know what an audit is, bucko. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay.
I literally can't stand that woman. That's Defense Secretary.
I just wanted to keep
Her
it a little
giggle at the end was so like, yeah, wow, evil.
And you know what's funny? You know what her response to this was? Because
You don't know what an audit is, bucko.
Bucko. Haven't heard that in a while.
she literally says to him, because we fail an audit does not mean it's being misspent. She's like, let me explain. Because we don't know where it is doesn't mean that it was a miss expenditure. And you're like, that math don't math.
Nice. I just wish he did that. Just nice.
Hey, you got an F on your exam. It doesn't mean you
what an
failed.
audit is, bucko.
You got an F on your exam, but doesn't mean you failed. It's
You
just
know-
an F on the exam.
Exactly. Brad Richardson really nails it here where, you know, we as citizens, we badly as a country got to worry more about its citizens and not other countries and supplying them with weapons and stuff.
But I mean, in terms of like supplying our citizens with like a lot of beneficial needs, especially right now, I mean, the current administration just decided to give all the people in California who are currently being affected by this tragedy $770. And nothing says jumpstart that life back up like half a paycheck.
Nothing. Now just
Less
just
than half in California.
imagine like, you know, we only have to worry about getting our car through the snow today.
Mhm.
That's a pain. What a bad day. Okay. There's somebody else scrolling like on TikTok that's watching California burn. They are sitting in the Carolinas like
First time, huh?
like I also don't have a roof.
And I got $600.
So where were you when I was crying? Like there,
And
we're
meanwhile,
just gonna,
Meanwhile, Flynn, Michigan is still like, I can't drink this shit.
yeah, I have no water. I have no water.
But Guy Fieri and his bacon bits are making a comeback, baby.
Feastables.
God.
Feastables. I mean,
Can we like fake it like that's our sponsorship? Like every episode, be like brought to you by Feastables.
I don't know. I think that's how you get arrested or sued. I think that's how you
Probably.
get sued.
Probably
Sued by a guy worth millions of dollars because we pay taxes.
because Double D gave it to him.
Mhm.
Feastables brought to you by the milk of the double beef.
Proud sponsor of the U.S. military.
Paid
It's got
for by
mold
Uncle
in every
Sam.
half package. Oh my god, I
No,
love
well,
this
yeah,
country.
I love the Feastable, like, lunchable, feastable things. Half of them were moldy.
Yeah, why not? You bought it. It's like the Hawk Tua coin. You spend money, you dipshit. You
Hey,
fucking
you know what our
deserve it.
you know what our grandparents used to eat in the military? They were eating Spam. Imagine eating Spam.
I'd rather have the Spam than
I
the moldy
appreciate-
Feastable.
I appreciate more than anything seeing Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and what's the other guy?
KSI.
KSI.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate watching them drag through eating Feastables. They'll find themselves on like a promo video and they're like, "You gonna eat this shit pizza with me?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's all fresh ingredient. Come on and dive in." And just Logan Paul's like, "Oh," and it's like, "Oh, you love it, don't you? Love it."
What happened to our country?
Yeah, no, this is the movie Idiocracy, where the guy from White Chicks is saying that he's the president sponsored by Mountain Dew.
It's Brando. It's what plants crave.
See? Bingo. That is our country. Nobody's going to leave their couch and we'll be happy because, our place gets cleaned by AI.
I think Wally really nailed it on the head.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah. They
The
knew what they were doing.
whole movie is
Oh,
a
yeah.
fight
That's in the budget.
for one.
That was that
little
was definitely
plant.
worth the budget.
That one's definitely in the budget.
That was worth the budget, definitely.
That
Yeah,
was
that
worth-
one was worth the
That
budget.
one was
yeah.
worth the budget, yeah.
Let's show them what they'll be turning into.
Yeah, Transformers was only worth it for Megan Fox. Outside of that, there was no need for this movie out of the budget.
Was it worth it? Like, are
Not
they
the
to
ninth
blame?
one with the dinosaur bots.
Right, well, I'm
Probably
saying,
not that.
are they to blame for like her and MGK's present?
No, there was something else at play there. I'm sure there was something else there. Even the
One or two
even the double D's were like, I didn't see that. We didn't account for that expense.
Yeah, she took a left turn. Again, $824 million unaccounted for in an audit that they
Pocket
failed.
change, bro. Who cares?
That's one movie. Oh, oops! Did I misplace a Despicable Me? No.
dude, they'd be like, "Oh my god, we misplaced 820 million," and then 2 weeks later, Disney's like, "And get ready for our new Star Wars trilogy."
This is our life. So first I kick it off to you, Silent. What are your rapping thoughts as somebody outsider looking in? We're spending our money in glorious places and we can't even account for it and on hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, this trend is unfortunately not gonna end. It's just gonna keep happening. Because just like Jon Stewart said in that clip, it's straight up corruption. And the corruption has been festering for so long that it's going to take like a full overhaul of the system, which we all know until all the boomers in Congress die, that's not going to happen. And then even then, it still might not happen in our lifetime. Because like I said, this system is very beneficial to a lot of few people that love these subsidies. And they will gladly take the government money for propaganda and push whatever the government said because it's easy profit for them.
Oh, yeah.
You think Mr. Beast cares if the military pays him $10 million to make a video and he makes 12 on the back of YouTube and says he doesn't care. He's just trying to get the bag.
You know what's funny? I just want to throw one thing your way. Something that's been being said, because of course this is getting a ton of attention. And because of that, there's a lot of media trying to put a positive spin on it. And one of the things like USA Today and New York Times, they were saying, well, the money was spent with Mr. Beast for humanitarian efforts, right?
Save the
So
orphans.
they were saying like it was less for content and more for actual aid. And he may or may not have just made content off of the aid, but their focus was the aid. And then guess what? what they fail to see every time and time again is you cannot beat the power of the human hive. And so when you have millions of people, and of those millions of people, nothing but time, because half of them don't even work, they're just Redditors. They dive in and read all the documents. And it came out, it was like, yeah, no, majority of it was the blowing up videos. The things where he gets in a tank and goes, kaboom, look at me. I'm doing this military obstacle course and we're going to blow shit up. It's like, yeah, that's where it went. Humanitarian efforts with your dollars. So I flip it back to you, but that's, it's like they're even trying to put a spin on it and then just it dunks in their face.
Yeah, Mr. Beast has a whole separate channel anyways called like Beast Philanthropy, I think, where he does content that's straight only humanitarian content. So if you were to see something sponsored by the government, in this case, you would have known about it.
He's such an Iron Man.
Clearly,
Just
yeah.
a sweetie pie.
Right. And clearly in this case, it obviously wasn't used for that. It was used for, like you said, the tanks videos and the kabooms and all that. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, this system is just too profitable for a lot of people, and it unfortunately won't stop because they know that, hey, we're failing the audit. Like you saw what she just said. Like she said, oh, it's because you don't know what an audit is. It's like, bucko. Like, okay, like clearly they know that just the average American is just too dumb to care, so they're just gonna keep getting away with it, and they're using that and they're rubbing it in your face. And guess what? It is up to you to hold them accountable. Will you do it? Probably not, because you're probably too busy surviving, really, or even just staying above water to even care about any of this stuff. Because at the end of the day, that's what the good old government loves to do, is waste money.
No, I think they love government efficiency. But wait until Doge walks in.
Yeah, let's see what happens when Doge walks in. Maybe then we can see some sort of change. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. The Doge thing with Elon and Vivek is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'm going to be curious to see how much they capitalize on it and how much of it is truly just for the sake of goodness. The thing that I don't like, and this is going to come out as wild, like Doug just discovered today, the Always Sunny podcast. It's like, I do not. I've never listened to it, but I would do nothing but encourage him. Like, find a podcast you love, and it may not be mine, but like, I love the art form more than the narcissistic need to be the one. But whatever kind of bias you want to read into this, you may. It's not a threat. I'm not threatened by it, but I do not appreciate the fact that Vivek and Elon are planning on making a Doge podcast to then like describe everything they're doing. And okay, I would on its face appreciate, like, again, look at where I'm talking to you from. I would on its face do nothing but appreciate using this type of platform to ever increase transparency.
Yeah, I agree.
What's on the mind of the government? Because here's where like the nitty gritty of law school and really just legal theory, everything boils down to the policy. You can break down and be a know-it-all for the interpretation and all of the standing and all of the code, but the policy, really the why, because what's funny is some things may be driven by policy and totally miss it. Some things may achieve the policy and get a result that is adverse and even worse than they anticipated. So it's not always good to chase the policy, but the policy is always worth the consideration. The why. I would love, like, I have a podcast. I have a judge that would love to come on here and talk with me. And he wants to cross that line, but still there will always be a professional reluctance because it's one of those, like, you can't take the risk.
Well, how transparent can you
I only
be?
bring that up because they don't want to get caught in a political chokehold.
Yeah.
At the same time, we as a people should want nothing more than to know everything that's kind of what makes you tick.
Yeah.
What are like the gray areas of your moral compass, your personality, the things that make you special, the things that, you know what? I could have faith in your interpretation because you would lean naturally this way, or your heart. Here's the thing. I could have a long dialogue about somebody, about Joe Rogan, whether he's evolved into a shill or if he's still close to what he used to be. All of those considerations would be a long, great conversation. And that comes with thousands of hours of listening to a person talk.
Right.
Like that, you are going, he doesn't like that these people run up to him and it's like, you know, I'm overwhelmed with all these people. They know me, but I don't know you, guy. It's like, but I don't think he'll ever really even understand because he has never listened to a podcast for 1,000 hours. He doesn't. He's not listening to Lex Friedman or any of his buddies. He is not listening to anybody as much as 40% of his followers are listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of hours. Imagine if you could have 100 hours, like Jordan Peterson's library of your local municipal court judge or your mayor or your governor. Holy hell, the more you get entrenched in local politics, they did a miraculous job preserving the power of the state, which again, the failure of modern history recalling, that is what the Civil War was about. And we fail to truly value. That's what makes this country so amazing. State power. And wouldn't you love to hear your governor talk? The guy who's kind of your local king. Dude, where I work at, I'm just getting entries like a judge, but from a governor, just pardoning people. And it's like, you're telling me the Munchkin Man can just wipe away criminals like this?
Mm-hmm.
Poof. Poof.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah. One signature. Yeah. And the people have spoken too, by the way. The people have spoken that they love this transparency. The big reason why president-elect is president-elect is because his son told him, hey, hop on the Joe Rogan podcast and just talk to him and see what happens, right? And that's a huge reason why he was able to get reelected again. It's because of the transparency, right? People love the transparency. People love when someone important of political high standard or high caliber, you know, like president, vice president, like you said, local judge, mayor, whatever, just sitting down and having a raw, unfiltered conversation with someone, or even just talking to themselves about like what they did today, what they want to accomplish tomorrow, what they have accomplished previously. Like you also see, I think the former prime minister of New Zealand, she did a great job with that too. She would have like these weekly clips on YouTube where she would do that. She'd just sit down and it'd be the camera on her and she just talk like what she wants to do,
awesome.
What she's going to do. And it's a big reason why she was able to pass a lot of the policies that she wanted to pass, was because she would always be very transparent about the policies that she wants to pass. And when they're going to pass, she'd give timelines too. She'd say, okay, we're going to go to parliament today. We're going to talk about this bill. We're going to talk about that bill. And people love the transparency. And I think the government officials that like recognize that and see the power of social media and the power of like, hey guys, it's just me and the camera. Let me talk. They're the ones that are going to be in the high positions for a very long time.
Well, exactly. And so as much as I talk up how much I love that transparency, how valuable that would be, and clearly it would be so valuable, that's why you don't see it. It would give us the people so much value. That's why they really can't implement it.
Exactly.
You couldn't think about how many dunces have a powerful political position, and it's because like Kamala, it's like hide her, don't let her talk. Holy shit! The more she talks, the more she hurts herself. Shut her
100%.
up. It's because the more transparency, the more you find out the person you're bestowing all this power to is an idiot. So I only say that because bringing my point full circle, I do want to bring it back to I still am weary to get excited and support this Doge podcast because Elon Musk, while he does everything to show me he's fighting for the people, I will say that, he also highly exemplifies a strong ability to play the market. I mean, Tesla stock for $420.
He literally knows how to
Flamethrowers.
manipulate this.
Right.
I don't like control. Like,
That's my
literally
fear.
just do a manipulation.
If you give this man who's controlling a scheme in the market the ability to have a voice even 40% the size of Joe Rogan, that is a power that can easily be used in a selfish or negative way. 100%. And so again, blind faith, go back to the beginning. At the end, I'm here loving Vivek. But we cannot ignore, we did a segment on here where this is a guy that was funded by the World Economic Forum and projected to be one of 100 most powerful people in the world. Okay, scary. Don't love that. And then, he does more and more and more things to fall like a Trojan horse, feel like a piece of my team. Like, I love what he says. I love what he's doing, but I cannot ignore his past. A lot of that's like Elon. Like, there's a lot of, you bought Twitter, you made it free. You released all this information that is holding the government accountable and giving power back to the people. But man, you do some shifty things. Mm-hmm. So I'm weary to get excited about that podcast because they could totally use it in a negative way.
Yeah, we're free thinkers here. We like to have open conversation, open dialogue. And we're very transparent in the way we come across on this show. And I love that. I love the idea of them being like that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, separation of church and state. Obviously, it's not church and state, though, but it's on that podcast. Where is the separation of the line going to be? I'm a citizen. I shouldn't know exactly everything. I should know enough to where I could be like, okay. But like you said, that manipulation portion of it, Elon's put out tweets before. Doge pops right up, the price. That's just a meme coin. Now he's going to be having conversations to what degree about this government and the efficiency that it's going. And, all I'm saying, though, is if he does have this show, right, and he has it, and he's talking about the government efficiencies, and he brings on the Costco boys, just be like, we're going to give that one 5 big booms. And then they come around the corner.
And a chicken bake.
If he does that and they come around the corner, I won't give a fuck what they talk about. I'll be like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to this country. Tell me I'm wrong. If
Can
you were
we
to do
be
that.
very, very clear here? The Costco guys, that dad, hey, Doug, here we go. That dad would sell out in a heartbeat.
Dude, if Guy Fieri is in that budget, put them in the budget. I don't care, man. Put them in the budget. Put them on the show. 5 big booms.
Boom, boom, boom.
Why wouldn't you? Elon, Vivek, Costco brothers. Why not? I keep calling them brothers, but
they ain't brothers. They bring out the mom. Dude, the internet gets weird with the sister. That's where it's like, and then I don't like the internet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good. I don't want to know what they say. I can imagine what they say.
They're bad. It's
Dad
gross.
Gets 0 booms
and again,
on the boom
it's
scale.
like, and Dad's still going live. He's like, hey, everybody's looking at my daughter.
Dad's live probably 20 seconds longer than he should.
Yes, much longer, dude. The video that I just have locked up in the chamber. It's one of my favorites. Oh, I'm sorry to see that your brother died.
Yep.
That gets 5 big booms. Boom, boom.
Like sad booms. Boom.
Oh no. Enthused. Because that's what bro would want. So, Silent, I'll go to you after this for a wrapping thought. But just my wrapping thought is $824 million gone. A lot of money. $500 million not gone that we know of. to Mr. Beast, Guy Fieri, and Kelly Clarkson, not pleased.
I would rather that be the money I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know that part.
Put
You know, like
put $500 million into acorns that'll be used in Feastables, and then just tell me you lost it.
yes, dude. It's like
And then I double dip with me, baby. I will buy that chocolate.
it's like you bring that up. It's like I just want like bring up like a little bit too transparent, a little bit too less efficient. It's like, dude, who is back there making the decisions? Be like, tell them about the movies. Tell them about the movies. Not
We tell them, don't forget, Doug liked Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick. Extra mustaches.
dude. I'm telling you, who was like read that and was like, why did you include this? Like, no one. So many people read that audit and were like, yeah, tell them about the movies. Fuck it. 820
Tell
million
them
people
about Guy Fieri.
yeah, tell them about Guy Fieri.
Dude, let's agree. We started this conversation off, and if it was, hey, we put money into Top Gun, we'd be like, of course you did.
yeah.
Of course you did. Guy Fieri, cheeseburgers?
Cheese in paradise? Like, what are we doing here? Is it like, I just think of that audit. It's like, who wrote that? It was like, yeah.
greasiest trailer park grilled cheese
Now I want to see.
here on the Iraqi military base.
Now I want to know, like, how much money did they put into music?
Kelly Clarkson.
You know, like, I'm just saying, like, if it's like,
Marshmallow's over there like, you could have made an impact.
Jake Khaled, another one. And they sent him
Another one.
No.
That's right.
They actually didn't go to DJ Khaled for music. They asked him to make putting videos.
All those Snapchats of golf.
Another one.
It's just, oh my God. I guess that's my rapping thought. Next time, just pick what you put in the audit. Jesus.
Silent, what's your rapping thought?
Yeah, very simple. Look, if you guys are going to spend the money and waste it, at least show us an audit. Show us where the money's going. Let us see where it's actually going. Keep a track of an audit. Stop failing the audits. Be more transparent. If you're going to waste money, be honest about it. Yep, sorry guys, we wasted 800 million on propaganda. My bad. Whoops. Maybe next year we'll only waste 700.
Dude, we are talking about $500 million, 7 years in a row failed an audit. Oopsie. But don't forget, we still need to take $200 billion and make the IRS bigger.
Big oops.
That's
Bigger.
right.
We need more of your money that we can lose in the island guys' back pockets. Doug, rapping thoughts.
I don't really like that I'm paying taxes that can't be accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's my rapping thought. Although they had put Top Gun, if they had put like military movies in there, it would have been one thing. Guy Fieri, I mean, come on. Of all the people that you could have put most people. Oh, we had Chris Hemsworth come out and work out with the guys. I'd accept that. Guy Fieri.
I love Doug's point.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth. And then some other guy that like kind of, he's 17. He's looking in the mirror and he's like a young Thor, just like yoked. And he's like, I could do this. And then Guy Fieri's belly busting, eating a cheeseburger. And he's like, some fat guy's just like, I can do that.
It's
Double chunk chocolate cookie. I'm getting in on that. And then he joins the military. And then we have people that can't run. And they're living their truth.
God bless them, man.
God
what else
bless
they got?
Guy Fieri.
Dude, somewhere Gordon Ramsay's just like, what the fuck? I want in on that.
Yeah. Ramsey's like, could have been me.
They'd attract too many good people.
Yeah. I want to
Skinny.
dude, let's bring back Kitchen Nightmares. Come on, man. Give me some of that money.
All right, transition to the next topic because this one's a bit of a celebratory one. I think it's a sign of the tides turning and also a good thermometer and finger on the pulse for the market, where the people are at, because the people are speaking. So the tide started to turn. So what are we talking about here? Companies, the corporations that put on a facade every June to make you feel like they care about you, just to make an extra buck, but only here in America, because they know not to do that in like Saudi Arabia. But that same company standard of false support is starting to dwindle. This DEI initiative where, go woke, go broke has come to become a reality. Come to become I call myself. But
Creme de la creme.
and
Continue.
looking at when this kind of all started, July 16, 2024, farm equipment manufacturer John Deere said it would no longer support cultural awareness events like pride parades and would audit company documents to remove socially motivated messaging. Added that diversity quotas and pronoun identification have never been company policy. They just wanted to make sure we never became that. So it said it would continue to internally track employee diversity. Then moving on to August 19, 2024, Harley Davidson, who they were getting pretty close to the line. They said they're going to abandon its DEI function in April and said it does not utilize diversity quotas for hiring or supplies, and that it would no longer participate in HRC surveys or partner with sponsors that do not focus on its loyal riding community. Yeah, because probably the loyal riding community. What was it? If you think of who's tweeting behind gays against groomers, the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I am totally picturing a biker, a gay biker. Oh, yeah. I don't like what they're doing out here.
I don't like those gays. I like my gays, not those gays.
So they got to listen to. Obviously, their people are speaking.
I was at your biker voice.
Hey.
Hey.
What was?
Hey, bucko.
You got to go back to Weenie Hut Jr.
Literally. Oh, okay. Now I know where you got the voice from.
August 22nd, 2024. Jack Daniels manufacturer Brown Forman told employees it would no longer tie executive compensation to DEI progress.
Jack Daniels.
Heaven forbid you pay people based off of, I don't know, their value. Remove workforce and supplier diversity goals and cease participating in the HRC index. August 28th, Ford Motor Company informed employees it would stop participating in external diversity surveys and would evolve its employee resource groups to focus on networking and mentoring all employees. August 28th, Lowe's. September 4th, Molson Coors. November 1st,
Molson.
Boeing. November 25th, Walmart said it would abandon its DEI commitments, including winding down a Center for Racial Equity nonprofit it had founded in 2020 with a $100 million price tag. 5-year commitment seizing third-year party sellers from offering certain LGBTQ-themed products on its website. No longer participating. They're like, we saw what you did to Target. You don't even know we're doing it? We're getting rid of it before you even know. Why'd you announce it? Well, we want you to know it's gone.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not Target.
Do what?
It. Go to, McDonald's, January 6th. Ooh, they were like, you want to see an insurrection?
Want to see a fucking statement, guy?
McDonald's announced it would abandon specific diversity targets, cease participation in external surveys that measure company demographics, and would rename its diversity team to Global Inclusion Team, citing the Supreme Court decision that ended affirmative action at universities and similar DEI walkbacks by other corporations. And January 10th, Meta said in a memo the company ended several programs intended to increase its hiring of diverse candidates, including its equity and inclusion training programs, after Janelle Gale, Meta's vice president of people, oh, that's crazy, vice president of people, said the legal and policy landscape surrounding DEI efforts in the United States is changing. That's right, baby. We spoke. And also on January 10th, Amazon was like, well, we're with them. Said they are going to roll back outdated programs and materials in an internal memo citing employee programs that were established to address specific disparity, though it did not specify what would be discontinued. Yeah. There's a list of what they're looking at.
I
as
noticed a
programs.
recurring word you said in a lot of those was the word outdated
Hmm.
in reference. Just saying, like,
As if it was ever dated. It was like, you guys tried making it relevant. It was only relevant as you talked about it.
Mhm.
And then you just kept going, what these words. And then you're like, okay, no one around us is saying them anymore.
you know, but it's like I see him writing the word outdated rather than like just in different verbiage. So when I hear the word outdated, I literally think of like, oh, it's expired in their minds. Like the whole like practice of it has expired. And now they feel the need to let everyone know. And again, it started with like small companies at first, and the longer and longer you went on, it's like McDonald's, Meta, Amazon, where at first it was John Deere. And it's like,
Exactly.
You know-
That's why I did the timetable.
but again,
The
when you started
timeline
off
makes
with,
it clear. It's like, yeah, John Deere, Coors, of course.
but John
Ford.
Deere's verbiage was we are stopping DEI hiring process, all those things.
Right.
And the later it went on, it wasn't talking about that necessarily. It was just, it's expired. Its expiration tag is up. In 10 years, maybe we'll bring it back. But for right now, it's out.
Yeah.
As the larger the corporations and the more control of the corporate, I mean, like Jack Daniels and Molson, it's like, yeah, they're going to give you the direct word. We're done doing this in this company's policy. But then you got to like the oligarch kind of businesses, and it's just like, it's expired. It's just, you know,
If we want to bring it back,
the
we
trends.
can.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of what like
It's
I read
like,
it
you know,
as.
gray pants. It's gone now.
Yes,
But it'll come back.
Exactly.
When I want to bring it back, we'll bring it back. I'm just putting it in the drawer.
Right. And at the beginning of the timeline, it was very much like specifically, we're stopping this policy. We do not think that it represents our company's values. Whereas later on, it was just, it's an expired tactic.
Wow.
That's
Listen.
how I heard it as a timeline.
I don't know. Silent, what do you think?
Yeah, look, as we have thoroughly discussed on this show many times before about similar topics like that, you should hire someone based on their skills. That's it. Not their skin color, not where they're from, not who they know, none of that. It should just be, do you fit in this company? Will you contribute positively to this company? Will you actually add value to this company? You're hired. And I think a lot of these companies are starting to see that virtue signaling, like they care about minorities and other people that are, you know, that don't have a chance in the first place, is very costly for them. Because in the long run, we all know these companies don't care about any of these things. They were just forced to care about it. That's it. Now they're not really forced to care about it anymore. So they could just go like, all right, that's it, guys. We're done. No more. We're done acting.
Right.
We're done caring, you know? And this is exactly what this is. You're seeing companies like backpedal because they're like, okay, we don't have to act like we care anymore. All right, that's it. We're done. And they're just moving on forward from it. And honestly, I think it's a great thing. Because as I said, if you guys really cared about minorities, just hire minorities that you think will fit the company and can contribute positively to it. You don't have to say, hey, guys, we're hiring minorities here. Just do it.
Just do it.
Less talk and advertising that we hire minorities or hire people that need to be hired, and more doing. Just go out and do it. If you want more black people in your company, go and do it. More minorities, go and do it. Like, you don't have to advertise to the world and show the world that you care, because, like I said, it's just a form of virtue signaling. Because in reality, a lot of these companies don't really care at all.
Can I just round numbers? And everybody loves statistics. We have our tech guy at work, and this is a rule that he lives and dies by. He says, everybody wants statistics. Nobody wants the analytics. What does that mean? Everybody wants to collect the numbers and invest all this money and effort into collecting the numbers, but everybody hates what the numbers tell them, because once you start analyzing them, they give you a dirty truth. And one of the things so let's just ballpark numbers, no hard feelings, just life. If 13% of the population is black and 58% of the population is white, let's just say 50% of both populations, just by classism, are either not competent enough to be an engineer, or are competent enough to be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, whatever. Okay. 50% of 13%, you're looking at 6.5% of potential high caliber workers are black. And then 58%. Okay, well, now you're looking at about 29% of potential high caliber workers are white. And imagine chokehold. Like, yeah, maybe the narrative and opinion of the market is pushing it in a different direction, but it's so much less that. It's so much more, you're making me hire out of the pool of 13% where 6% is what's viable. Even if you're lying, you're lying to yourself if you're going to force me to live in the delusional world of 100%. But I'll do it. I'll do the dance. I'll do the dance. Even if 100% of them were able to be viable at the highest caliber, 100% of the market is now fighting over 13% of the population. That quite literally is impossible. And it actually is devoid the true point of the exercise, which is if 50% of them is not viable and you're forcing them into that 13%, that means a significant portion of the market is going to be checking a box that is one, but not both. And now you have somebody that is what you need, but not of the caliber that delivers on what you're trying to achieve. And now your product or your company's caliber suffers.
Yep.
So, like, live in the real world. I
alone,
think they're seeing their pocketbook hurt.
well, let alone you're talking about like those numbers. Just like, again, you have that much. That's giving like the full accessibility to those numbers at all time. It's like, let's talk about like geographically locations, you know, like how many are like in rural Montana of that 13% is living out there, let alone how much is like living down in Miami. You know, there's a different disparity there, let alone, and then you're still handcuffing them to, you have to hire that amount, a percentage of whichever group, even if there's hardly any around, you have to fill a box. It's box checking at that point.
Right.
Rather than being able to correctly utilize the resources available.
No, I completely agree.
And I also agree with your point. Like, it is a pocketbook thing. Like, at the end of the day, like, how much of revenue were we generating to where we could now justify saying this is expired?
But why do I get on such a hard tangent after what Silent says? We all agree. It is the pocketbook suffers. But the point that I want to highlight beyond that, and I like what you said, it's not just that their pocketbook suffered. We get the market hubris where it's, well, we got Trump in and we're winning now. And that's what, no, they don't care about us. None of that matters. What it was is we're tired of, we got this person we hired. We can't fire them, and we can't get them to show up to work on time. They're missing days. They're not calling off when they're sick. They just don't show, whatever it is. And they're overextending breaks, blah, 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 blah. It's all these problems. And it's like, because you ignored a lot of those lines on the resume because you were only looking at one.
Yeah. And then there's like a lot of, I guess, discussion that's been had about this, like, over especially the last 4 years. But again, like, when they bring up that expiration date, it's like, I'd go back as far as saying this has been going on like a decade now.
Yeah, I'd say 2015. So
yeah,
good point.
So it's not like it's just which administration's in. It's like, this has been a practice that's been going on for essentially, I mean, if we want to say 2015, you and I were still in school.
Yeah.
Like, we hadn't even hit the market yet.
Right.
It's like a viable contender, let alone, and by then, like, we had worked to a point to be like, okay, we're in this percentage of this group to be able to work certain positions, and immediately seeing that disparity.
There was an interesting experience in kind of living the transition of that climate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of looked to 2015 into that 2016 election. I look at that period as being the turning point, because it isn't that DEI or PC culture, LOL, PC principle, that whole thing
Yeah.
doesn't, it exists, but it doesn't like dominate the ethos.
Mhm.
And it almost feels like just a switch happens where, yeah, there's murmurs of, you know, the White Walkers are coming. The White Walkers are coming. PC culture is coming. One day it'll dominate us. Beware of PC culture. The White Walkers are coming. And you're like, all right, is winter going to come or not? Like, at some point, and that's what it felt like. It felt like through high school, maybe the end, like there was a while where PC culture's coming. Watch out. And then like a truck, just like one day you're like, oh my God, they're here.
Yeah.
This is the world. And I think a lot of it was that election. It was the election with Trump and Hillary.
Yeah.
Why? Because that was, you had the pressure build, and the break in the dam was
He
the
got
thing
in.
he said in the bus,
Yeah.
right? Grab
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And I also think the unfiltered, totally unconventional approach to very structured politics. Those debates and some of the like undercuts that you would only say like in a rap battle,
Right.
like those are things that you really don't say to a colleague or a political professional.
I'll put her
They're-
in jail.
Boom.
Everyone remembers that one.
And they'll never forget it.
Yeah. Only Rosie O'Donnell. Like, but I agree with you. But it's funny, like when you mentioned that transitional period, and you brought up the famous character PC Principal. If you really
That's
want
a turning point.
That's
why I say that.
If you went and watched like those seasons of that show, you could really see it like right there.
Oh, yeah.
When PC Principal enters the show,
completely
That
changed.
was
is
it.
when PC culture changed the world.
Yeah, it is funny.
And I'm
like-
not saying this caused that, but
No.
I do believe
No, I don't think
South Park, beyond any form of content, has had its finger on the pulse of our society better than any other program.
I agree.
It wasn't like in 1 year or like one season. It just like changed on a dime. Like you said, it didn't just like immediately boom, it's here. It was a gradual buildup. But the PC Principal season was like, oh, it's here.
That was
It's
when it
actually
was
here.
here.
Yes. Right. Because again, it's coming. But everybody made fun of it, right? Like, you gotta say little person. Like it was just like it was this whole dynamic where you're still watching Comedy Central and the man show's on, and you're like, you don't understand. But then
Jimmy Kimmel.
good old Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then again, the flip of a dime. And I do think it was that. I think it wasn't just the Trump thing. And I don't think South Park was a turn. It could have played a part, but I do think it was a culmination of where our culture was at. And it was just a powder keg.
Well, it's like what they always said about Trump. It's like Trump was sort of like, I guess, like the breaking point.
Can
to, like,
we
that
just say,
side,
I
you
got
know?
a comment for you.
Sure.
I truly, one of our colleagues, he's actually at it today. He's in a Civil War group where they have historians meet. They do these readings. And I wanted him to set me up with one of the historians to do a podcast because I truly believed at the time we were on the verge of Civil
On the
War.
verge, yeah.
I did not believe, regardless of who won, it was going to go peacefully. The fact that it did go as peacefully as it does tells you how this country truly freaking feels.
Yes.
Right?
No, yeah.
Like we thought it was one way. The polls told us it was one way. And this world, and the fact that there was like the pink pussy hats that you had the first time, you couldn't even pay for a staged event this time.
No.
You couldn't get a soul to come out in disdain and hate for this guy.
No, it's like you bring up the polls. It's like I remember it was like a month or two after like Kamala lost. Like they came out and said like the DNC was like, oh yeah, our internal polling never had her ahead at all.
Yes, so
you know, like
here,
but they
here,
were
here.
always putting on that charade. Like it was neck
Totally.
and neck.
But-
she's up, sometimes she's down.
To make the full point here,
Yeah.
I truly believed we were on the verge of something chaotic. And I did hopefully, it could go bad too, but hopefully this is what saves us.
Knock on wood.
If you would have gone back to October,
Mhm.
nobody could have sold me on the pendulum theory. I'm sick and tired of hearing this shit. Everybody keeps saying, it's the pendulum. It'll come back. Yeah, they're going crazy. They're putting your pronouns on their email signature, and they're putting kitty litter boxes in the bathrooms, but it'll pendulum back. And it just kept
It's
getting
the most true thing
crazier
ever.
and crazier. And I'm like, all right, pendulum, this is getting pretty freaking wild. You can bring it back.
You're leaning all the way back in that pendulum. Let's fling it back, Jim.
And dude, like overnight, it just flipped.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I did want to bring up in this dialogue, and I don't want to transition too far away from this point, but like the Mark Zuckerberg being on Joe Rogan, right? Like he comes on and he's like, they were asking me to do it. Just a tell all. 3 hours of like all the crazy shit the government asked Facebook to do. And we said no. Everybody, you said yes. Like you did the thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, did I? I can drink water now. I learned the thing. So I
You
really
cannot penetrate my force field. Speaking of South Park, a classic. That's how I always picture him. So again, like you said, like he's like a kooky guy now. It's like, no, you're still that guy. Your
Yeah.
voice is dubbed. Huh?
Yeah, dude, your voice is dubbed. You are a walking anime that can code. That's
kind of why I still haven't watched that episode. I cannot take him serious as a human.
Oh,
And he's
dude.
very much a very serious
Yeah,
human.
and the most real, like one of the most powerful humans alive.
And I'm just
like,
like, you
independent
cannot
power.
penetrate my force field.
Independent power. And so this guy goes on a show. Yeah, they asked us to cooperate, and we didn't. We told them no. It's like, no, you didn't.
I love it. I love him for doing it.
But he tells us everything they did, but we didn't do it. Yeah, dude.
It was all bullshit. I didn't do none of that. Not a damn thing. You can't put it on me. That is so. I kind of like him.
Well, okay. That's why I said I didn't want to get lost in those weeds, because the greater point being, I didn't think the pendulum would come back.
Yeah.
And here is a guy that is as powerful as a country. Like literally, he grosses more than half the world, or half the world's states, and he has the ability to control the elections of the other ones. So, like, this is one of the most powerful and richest people in the world. And did he really, really flip? Like you said, no, it's just outdated. I just put it in the drawer. It might
That's
come
what I
back.
mean. Like that word expired stuck out to me so much at the end. Like once it hit like December and like the big oligarch corporations starting to like, oh, we're pulling back. It's not you didn't stop DEI policies. You just said the current thing is outdated and it's expired. And it's like, okay, when are you gonna re-up that IP then in like 10, 15 years again? Like that stuck out to me. It really did.
So that major flip shows me, okay, that pendulum has 180'd,
Mhm.
and it 180'd harder than and faster than I think I thought it would have been another slow burn back. No, flipped right back.
Election night was deafening to the other side.
Yeah.
And I don't think they anticipated, and myself included. I didn't anticipate it to that
be
degree
that,
either.
yeah.
But it was deafening to them. And like right around then was when you started naming those other companies, and they all started, like dropping like flies.
We did a whole election night show. Look back, 5 hours of a show. I think
Oh, it did amazing.
Yeah,
The show was amazing.
That's the thing. It's like I didn't. And again, the pendulum theory. I've myself have never given too much credence to. Because it's like.
But that's
when
why I
you're
bring
in
it
the
up, because I
moment.
never thought, dude,
Yeah.
we've only okay, we were not politically cognizant when it was going the other way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until it started slow burning back to this liberal delusion that we're like, wait, what? Whoa. And they're like, pendulum. It'll come back. Like all the boomers like, it comes back. And you're like, no. This is they're doing what to the kids? It comes back.
Dude,
It comes back.
for
And then, dude, now you gotta believe it.
yeah,
Because it came so hard, so fast, in unison, like a flip.
you can literally point to the night it happened.
Yeah.
Like literally, like
That's
the night it
crazy.
happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That night, what I totally thought was a fantasy flipped on its head.
Yeah, and it was, and like I mentioned, deafening.
Yes,
Like
I like that.
deafening.
So DEI initiatives shifting. That's mainly America. You know, if you were to go to Toronto, they're thriving. These initiatives, surveys, they're controlling you. But you know, they love it there. So I don't know. What's the perspective of, you know, a Canuck up above?
Yeah, I think the DEI initiatives here are probably slowly going to also start to be expired, as they say. It's just a matter of time. Really.
Just like your president is spoiled milk expiring.
Right. And resigning and, you know, doing it in a way as such as to he suspends parliament for 6 months. You know, it'll be sneaky, but it'll be done.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be
you know,
done.
spoiling milk smells.
You could be a little
Yeah.
sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and that's the issue with this whole thing, right? As I said before, at the end of the day, these companies don't really care about you. They really don't. They just want to make money and they want to make themselves look good. And they thought that this was a way for them to make themselves look good, to make more money. But then once they realized that nobody really cares that you care or act like you care, so they backpedaled. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, we all know you don't really care.
Right.
And now that you're
Talks.
backpedaling,
Money
you know,
talks.
3, 4, 5 years later, it's showing. You guys got caught. You guys self-exposed. And hey, at least now you know if you didn't know.
Yeah, I love that point. You know, we can start wrapping, and so we can get to the fun game here. My wrapping thought is going to be: this is a sign of the times, a time I didn't actually think we were going to see come, and I didn't think it would happen this fast. But it's a beautiful thing to see, not because I'm sitting here saying we need to make space less available for other people. The truth is, we need to. This is like anything. True competition, pure competition creates a standard for the highest, greatest, best. That should be the only standard we're reaching for. When you're trying to put in a Supreme Court justice, immutable characteristics that have nothing to do with cognition or academic strength, you should not consider them at all. I'm sorry. The amount of melanin in skin is the same as measuring the length of hair. Like, I only want Pocahontas 3 feet or longer. And it's like, yeah, because that'll ensure a brilliant Supreme Court justice. That's somebody that deserves a job that can never be taken from them. They can't be voted out. They can't be removed. They're just permanently in king-like power stewardship. Hey, whatever. So just like the hundreds of millions of dollars you just happen to lose, to me, I think this is a great sign of the times just for increasing the standard for everybody.
I think increasing the standard, I'm going to keep it short and simple. I think increasing the standard is a great thing, and I think it deserves 5 big booms.
And a chicken bake.
Why not?
Doug, Raven thoughts.
I mean, after that court case where like all the like Harvard specifically, where they were using the diversity thing, like that was the whole court case that kind of started the whole downfall of this diversity thing. That was a lawsuit that a white kid with better grades didn't get in, but other people did. That was the whole thing. I'm actually not surprised. I mean, since that case went to court and the people won, I'm not surprised this stuff is changing because the court has said that like you shouldn't take race into account. You should be able to accept or hire the best of the best, period. So
Bless you for
I'm
that
not
point.
surprised.
I love that point. All right, now let's play a fun game. The fun transition here is to see, you know, amongst us who's a millennial and we're all millennials just by stat. But the true thing that we want to find out is who's the oldest, because you don't want to be classified as old. We're still trying to hold on to our youths as much as possible.
Youths.
It's right. So the best thing we could do is find out amongst us who's the oldest soul. It's going to be Doug.
That being said, though, when is the start and cutoff date for millennials?
It was like 1986 to 1996.
Okay, so it's about a
Yep.
decade.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, the Generation A just started up, I think.
Yeah, and then the
Oh,
generation
wow.
betas are going to be in a few years.
Bunch of
And that'll be when the pendulum swings again.
Oh man.
Yeah, you never know. You got to be cautious.
I like how me and Alex's first reaction, bunch of betas.
All right, so make sure you play along with us because the key here is to see, are you an old soul, right, or are you able to hold on to your youth? So have you ever, so what I want to do is find out who, you want to be someone who racks up the least amount, but be honest.
I'm gonna
You know.
lose.
Doug, you think so?
Starting off with me, have I ever watched The Daily Show with Jon Stewart? Of course. Will,
Yeah.
Doug,
Of course.
Silent.
Yep, of course.
Of course. All right, that's an easy one.
He was on for so long.
There's some weird
too.
ones in here though. I
He
gotta
looks very young in that photo too.
and dive into the comments. Let's see it. All right. Have you ever ordered from McDonald's dollar menu when they had lots of options? That's a weird way of putting it, but it's I would say when their dollar menu was actually
A
$1.
dollar, yeah.
And there were
Actually
things
$1.
on it.
Look at that, 3 cookies for $1.
Come on,
2 pies.
McGangbang. That is a $2
A
special.
McDouble, small fry. Ooh.
McDouble with a good old sexy McChicken in the middle.
2 pies.
Oh,
One of a
yeah.
kind.
Yeah. It's a
I
yes
mean,
for me too.
That's a
I,
yes.
I
That's a yes.
definitely did.
Did
yeah.
they have those up in the woods upstairs by you?
Yeah, they did. We had a dollar menu up until like 2010, maybe, or
You
2011.
could get a you could get a $1 maple syrup.
Mhm.
Hey, I
Yep.
think we all got the Live Strong
Oh, yeah.
bracelet. How
Yeah.
about you?
Of course, I had
I
one.
cut
Doug lived in his Live Strong bracelet.
I did have one, yes.
he did.
I cut mine when I found out he cheated.
That cheated.
Cheater.
He had 3 balls.
Cheater.
How much testosterone?
Have you ever watched a 2003 VMA performance with Britney Spears and
Yeah.
Madonna kissed?
I have to actually
No.
say no.
I'm gonna say.
No. I
Here's
just
the
didn't
thing.
watch that shit.
Yeah,
I
think-
heard about it, but
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't
watch
That's
it.
what I was gonna
that.
say. I believe I heard about it, but it really wasn't pertinent. So Silent is just a tad bit.
I
old.
saw it. Yeah, I
Silent
saw it.
Gold.
Have you ever bought a song that cost 99 cents on the iTunes?
That's a
store?
yes for
Yeah,
me.
baby. Yeah, dude, look at that thing. Could you make
Oh my
that photo
God.
bigger?
Dude, they are as valuable as V-Bucks now. Actually,
Oh,
probably
man.
less valuable.
I can't even access my old iTunes because it was from when it was downloaded on a
Classic
computer.
Doug.
That is crazy.
Have you ever accidentally or on purpose watched a daytime soap that featured supernatural storylines like magic or being possessed by the devil?
No.
No.
Okay, now
No.
I went down a little mini rabbit hole with this cat. That kid is like a doll that like comes to life and she's a witch. Crazy.
Then no, I didn't see it because that's
Definitely
all.
a hard no.
I totally
Well,
missed it.
I want to say like
Daytime
Sabrina
soap?
the
No.
I didn't
teenage
watch it.
witch.
That just wasn't my thing. Like it wasn't. Like I never really
That was a
watched
different
Sabrina.
channel.
Especially
But again,
I would
like,
call it
I-
a soap opera.
Again, I knew of it, but like I didn't watch it.
Yeah, this is specifically daytime soap.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
didn't watch
no.
daytime soap because this is a daytime soap. It was. Have you ever
Yes.
owned a cell phone
Yes.
that didn't have
Yeah.
a camera?
Actually, no.
I did not.
That's a no.
That's
no.
a no for me. Yeah.
Everything
I
had
did.
a camera by the time.
Silent. You had a camera. You had a phone without a camera.
I had a Nokia 6610. That was my first phone
Did
ever.
it dial to suitcases that went boom?
Was it a dial-up? What did he say? Nokia 610?
So
6610.
no camera on that phone, Silent.
Nope.
Wow, you are
None.
old.
hmm
Yeah.
Jesus.
The-
Yeah, that is
The 6610 was also the first like small candy bar Nokia phone like those, but it had a color screen. That's why I bought it. Mhm.
I love you for that. So Silent's pulling away a little bit ahead of us. And I gotta say, our buddy over here, Brad Richardson, he's got quite a few of them too. Have you ever quoted the Taco Bell
Yes.
dog?
I actually
still do.
I literally say it at work. She'll be like, "You know what I go? Yo quiero Taco Bell."
I actually don't think I have.
I have not coded the Taco Bell dog. I know who he is. I don't eat Taco Bell though. I've had
I
it
know
like
who
maybe
he is, but I don't
Two,
Okay,
three
think
times
me and
my
Will will
whole
happily
life.
take this.
Oh, I'm proudly taking this.
My Yaya had a stuffed Taco Bell Chihuahua in the like, what is it? The sun mirror
Mhm.
above in their car.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She had the Chihuahua with a rose in its mouth, and you could squeeze it. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Love that thing.
Perfect.
What a time. Good old days. Give me the point. Have you ever wanted an Old Navy item of the week? No.
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 Have I seen them on a commercial? You almost had me there.
Have I seen
Did
them?
I want it?
Yes.
No. I never want clothes I see in commercials.
They actually were in the way for me getting back to my show. Have you ever watched Cruel Intentions?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
some girl
yeah.
intentions.
Doug's gonna.
Yeah.
Will over here is gonna get self-righteous about daytime soaps.
So I am
That's a
the-
movie.
I am
I have.
apparently the youngest of all so far.
That's a movie.
I'll take your word for it.
That girl on the right was a huge bitch.
Winner. Have you ever watched Daria?
I have
Yeah,
not,
no,
but it's
actually,
a
no.
spin-off
I was thinking
of
that was
Beavis and
Recess for a
Butthead.
second. I know
No.
what Daria is, but I haven't
Yeah,
watched
it's
it.
a
never seen
spin-off
it.
of
I know.
Beavis and Butthead, but I've never watched it. So, woo,
Yeah, you're
young.
right. Oh my god, yeah, you're right. It was on
Yeah,
that
it's a
channel.
spin-off of Beavis and Butthead, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I've heard that line said 4 times in a row now. Now, Silent, have you?
I've seen a few episodes, but I never got into
Woo,
it.
But you've
you got
watched it, so
that.
you old.
I have watched it, yeah.
Have you ever carried around
yeah.
a CD wall with you?
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
None
so
of us
many.
can say
So
no to
many.
that.
Absolutely.
I had like every Bring Me the Horizon album in one.
Absolutely.
Oh, mine,
Oh.
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys fill up that thing. Anyway, have you ever watched something with Tom Green? in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
have to assume I probably have.
Freddie Got Fingered. Anybody? The Tom Green Show.
It was terrible.
Classics.
How about you, Doug?
I have to assume I have because he looks familiar, but I can't off the top of my head say I've seen something with him. But
Silent?
I have to assume I have.
I have watched Tom Green Show, yes. Many
Tom
times.
Green Show was like
Mhm.
so
That
ahead
was
of its
crazy.
time. That was
And
so
well,
ahead
Joe
of its
Rogan
time.
says that all the time
Yeah.
in his basement. Have you ever wanted or had a transparent cordless phone? Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't.
I've wanted
Really?
one as a kid. Hell yeah.
You did not?
No, I didn't.
But you didn't want one as a kid?
No, not really.
You're
Doug?
insane. I did want one as a kid, absolutely.
And your mom and dad just didn't listen. Those lizards. Silent.
I wanted one, of course, but my mom and dad had just a silver the cordless phone, not the
You
transparent one.
old.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We've all seen the fucking
Yes. Oh, in
Titanic.
theaters? No.
Oh, in theaters? Is that the question?
That's the
Then
Oh,
question.
no.
in theaters.
No. Mine
No,
too,
I saw it on VHS. I saw
Yeah,
it on
I
VHS
saw it
the
on,
first
like,
time.
DVD.
VHS.
Dude,
was
we
the
would have
first
been
time I saw
really
it.
young to have seen that in theaters.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever bought an album or a soundtrack or just one
Yes.
song?
Yes.
Yes.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
kidding me?
Back when you used to have
That's
to
how you
buy...
became fans of their whole thing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, I love that song. I bought an album. Now I listen to.
Have you ever been paged or paged someone?
No. Wait,
No.
wait, page someone? You never paged your dad?
No.
No. You
Okay,
did.
No.
I have in fact paged my dad once before.
Doug
As
is
a
wild.
kid, my
I-
mom showed me how to do it, and I did it for like an hour straight.
I couldn't tell you how to do that. I wouldn't even know how.
Oh, I don't know how to do it. My mom showed me, and I never
Did
stopped.
you need to do it from another pager?
You had to do it from a phone.
What?
So, like at home, I'd be on our phone paging my dad, who was like at work, and he would
Mhm.
just eventually call, going, "What's going on?" Oh, it was just Doug paging you.
Just Doug.
Just
Ian
Doug.
It's just Doug.
That's me.
Have you ever had or wanted a stereo like this?
I
Yes.
literally
Oh,
had
yeah.
one.
I still have
Literally
it.
asked for a
I
big-
still have that
I
in my
love it.
room at my parents' house. It's a
I
Sony
wanted
though,
one
not an
with my
Iowa.
Big booms.
big booming out of that box. Have you ever mumbled Aaron Burr because of Got Milk commercial?
No.
No.
No,
No.
No,
I don't
Silent?
even know what that is.
Mm-mm.
I do know
No.
that is. No.
I don't. What I
don't
will
either.
say is I remember all the Got Milk commercials, but I definitely don't remember this.
I didn't know this commercial much as a kid, but as I got older, it would be like in YouTube spoofs and YouTube poops from back in the day, and Aaron Burr would be in it all the time.
Seriously?
100%. Like when I was like 12, 13, like really on YouTube, like you'd just have like YouTube poops, and like I would pick up the phone and just be like, Aaron Burr. And you'd be like, oh my God, I've seen that commercial now.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Nope.
Have you ever used Cliff Notes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
And then
What-
the website
in Canada, isn't
eventually,
it called something else?
Spark Notes, I think, as well.
Yeah. We call
Use
that
that
too.
too.
Yeah, used it too. Yeah, it all became a website soon, anyways.
Judge Ito.
Judge
Yes.
Ito.
You don't know
Yes.
or have ever heard of Judge Ito.
But that's only.
See, hold on. Real talk. This is why I wanted to do it in this fashion. If you asked me Judge Ito, I would not know the name. Picture knew exactly who he was
Picture,
immediately.
yes, that's what it is.
So that counts. If
I
you
was-
see him and
Because of the
immediately
OJ
know who
trial,
he is,
right?
Yes, I was about to say
Yes.
that's the judge of the OJ
I
trial.
only
Yeah.
know it, though,
but you didn't.
I wouldn't
but
have
hang on,
known
I only know
immediately.
it because of the OJ TV show that came out years ago. I
But-
know the name
yeah.
only because of that.
Honestly, I would I could have maybe guessed after a bit, just knowing like the timeline. They're probably around, but I want to. I did not think OJ trial when he popped up.
Second I saw him, knew where he was at.
Name with
Yep.
the name.
So Silent, were
Same
you
with
the
the name.
same?
Yeah, I've seen the face. Don't know his name though, but I know he's the judge from the OJ trial.
Now I feel like
Especially-
shit.
especially
I
Silent
feel
his
is
left out on
still
beard.
the oldest.
Yeah.
Silent is
Es-
still the oldest.
Especially
I
his
was really
beard.
thinking before this. I was like, I wonder if something OJ related is going to pop up.
Little baby. Judge Ito.
My mom remembers.
Judge, you
My
little
mom
baby.
remembers holding me as the police chase was going on with the OJ case.
Doug,
So
you remember weird things? Have you ever danced the Macarena?
Yeah.
yes,
Hey,
Oh,
Macarena.
yeah. Hey,
I think we're all a yes on that, right?
Oh yeah.
Silent. Okay, where are we at so far? Silent has 15. Doug has
Wow.
13. Will has 12. And I have 13.
Old motherfuckers.
You are. You're a baby.
Will's a baby.
Have you ever smelled Calvin Klein 1?
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've smelled it
No.
before. I've never owned the bottle, but I've seen that bottle and I've smelled it. Yes.
Your dad had
Oh,
a
you
bottle.
be smelled at.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Damn. Have you ever quoted Friday?
Yeah.
I have to say no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. You just got knocked the fuck out.
You ever watched the part of the 1994 VMAs where Michael Jackson and Lisa
No.
Marie Presley kissed on stage and declared that their marriage was real?
No.
Mm.
Oh, that was not a psyop. I wasn't even there for it. I could have told you that. Have you ever bought concert or show tickets from a Ticketmaster located inside a store?
No.
Yes.
No.
Really?
Really?
What show?
From a
NSYNC?
Ticketmaster in a store.
Oh yeah.
What sh-
I've done
What
it.
show?
First off, you could buy Cedar Point at Ticketmaster back in the day. You could just go
Wow.
into Giant Eagle. They were there. Walmart, like the Nutcracker.
I know Drug Mart sells tickets,
I
but I
went as a
never
kid.
went to a Ticketmaster in store
Yeah.
before.
I didn't.
I don't think the one I went to is actually like the franchise Ticketmaster's like Ute. But I did think it was just another company that was. I do remember Giant Eagle, CVS, like your local stores having ticket sales at the front of the
You're
store.
definitely
They did
guilty
used
by
to do that,
association.
but that wasn't Ticketmaster, I think, though, Alex. That was just them teaming up with the local.
Yes, Doug.
Team,
but I
so-
acknowledge that to be the same thing.
Oh,
So
I
you
don't.
should too. Did you buy tickets at the?
I mean,
grocery
I
store?
used to buy air show tickets at Drug Mart back in the day before they went
Doug, you're
online.
getting up.
But I don't think that counts as buying a ticket to a concert or show. So that's a hard no.
What's
Is
the
it
air
called
show?
an air show?
The air show is an air show. It's a completely different thing. It's not a concert.
It's a show, Doug. If I'm counting the Nutcracker,
Yeah,
you're
but
counting
that's
the
a
air show.
But this is a Cleveland specific show sold at Cleveland area specific stores. It's not a
You went to a
Ticketmaster
grocery store.
national chain. So I still have to say no.
No, Doug, this is acknowledging that back in the day, you could go to the grocery store and buy tickets to events instead of
But if it
online
was-
or at the stadium.
But it wasn't Ticketmaster, and this thing says Ticketmaster.
cool.
Just saying.
Guess what? My pen stroked point.
Yeah,
There-
the only time I bought from a ticket is right outside a concert venue. They had a booth.
Yeah, I used to buy outside the concert.
I hope they've got.
But I've
some
never done
guy
it from a
under a light
store.
post as a scalper. I want a scalper shifting tickets. Then that's a check.
Scalper, I did too.
Have you ever
Dude.
watched a serious news report
Yeah, have you ever-
about?
Have you ever watched a serious news
Chupacabra.
report about chupacabra sightings?
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
My only chupacabra
No.
experience is like the Scooby Doo chupacabra stuff.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Chupacabra.
That counts.
Nope.
That's a yes to 28 hardcore.
Oh, yeah, of course. I know Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't know her?
That dance has got to be in
Silent.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I've seen it. Probably is.
It's gotta
They
be.
need,
right?
they need to add him as a Fortnite character.
Oh my god, I would pay to play as Urkel. That would get me.
All right, let's check out. So, have you ever watched Thank God It's Friday? Because I definitely did not.
No.
No.
No, I'm not even really.
Have you ever watched an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show where Oprah would warn about the
Yeah.
bad, dangerous things that
Oh,
could
yeah.
happen if it would scare you to death because
Thanks, Mom.
now you thought it could happen to you?
I have to
No.
say no.
Yep. My
Oh, I
mom,
thought Quicksand was a
my
big
mom
fucking
loved the
long
Oprah
time
Winfrey
ago.
show.
Yeah,
and
I've
she used
watched
to have it
Oprah.
all the time.
Yeah. I'll agree with Silent. I've watched Oprah, but I can't say I've ever been scared by Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now
what
I'm
they
scared
needed-
by Oprah.
What they needed to
I-
say was, did you see Oprah give away free stuff on her show? My
Yes.
mom never missed that episode.
Yeah.
And it'd be on the TV, and I was always like, and check under your seats. Oh no, what's
You
under the
get a
seat?
car. You get a car. Everybody gets a car.
Doug's seen it before.
Oh my god, I'm scared of cars. Don't give me
Not
one.
scared. Brad Richardson, not scared.
Not scared.
I've watched Oprah. I'm not scared.
Yeah, I watched Oprah, but it wasn't scary. at all
Music,
either.
yeah,
So-
music.
have you
guy.
ever ordered or wanted to order CDs from Columbia House or BMG?
No.
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 Silent, no.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Snapple. Have you ever heard of Wendy's the Snapple lady?
No.
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 I have not.
Have you ever watched or ever had your VCR eat your VHS tape, or at least fear that it could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It shouldn't have. It should not have added the fear.
Yeah,
thing at
the
the end, 'cause it was
fear
like,
is
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Because it did happen.
Anyone knows.
Hey,
the
shout
fear.
out to Sony. I had a VHS from Sony and it never got stuck, not once. So shout out to
Okay.
Sick.
not once.
Yes.
I gotta give a hardcore yes
Answer
to
is
this
yes.
next one here.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Definitely have
I gotta
played
be
the
honest with you, I
Super.
never played a Super Nintendo. I
No?
only played a 64.
Yeah, I played
Wow,
on a
you
Super
never
Nintendo.
played a Super.
I have.
That's
played
insane.
Sonic.
Silent, did you play Super Nintendo?
Yes, I have.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm just
I used to play the Duck Hunter where you connected the.
honestly, I thought Nintendo 64 was the earliest. I didn't know this even older. Jeez.
My grandma
Do you
had the
remember
Super
Crystal
Nintendo.
Pepsi?
I do remember Crystal.
I
I do.
remember it.
Silent.
Never tried it.
I've never tried it, but I've heard of it, of course.
Yeah.
But I've never tried it. Never tried it.
That was short lived.
Brad Richardson's floating around 18 to 16 so far. So let's take a look at what we got. Silent, 21. Doug is the little baby now with 18. Will's got 19.
I feel pretty good about
And
that.
I've got 20.
feel pretty good about
18,
that.
19, 20, 21.
I'm a baby.
Have you ever gone to the mall with your friends or met up with your friends there and no one had a cell phone?
Yes.
Many times.
You had to just say where you were gonna meet.
And your mom was like mad if you were not out at the front Macy's in
Mhm.
at 8:10
Mhm.
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
That's a point all around for the gang.
Been there, man. Been there.
I don't even
Mhm.
know what this next one is, Alex.
No clue.
Have you ever heard of Socks the Cat? Nope.
No clue.
Have you ever heard of a Thigh Master?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Seen it
I
on
mean-
TV.
And if you haven't seen it on TV, it's been mentioned on shows.
Have you ever watched Perfect Strangers and possibly sung along to the theme song?
nope.
No.
Have you ever referred to Mark Wahlberg as Marky Mark?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I-
yeah.
Not because I know him as Mark Wahlberg.
How about you, Silent?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Have
I mean,
you
I know
ever
of that, but I've never referred to him as that.
Nice. Have you ever seen or been curious to see what is in Madonna's sex book?
I didn't even know that was a
Never.
fucking
I
thing.
have.
No,
honestly,
I had
heard
no
about
idea it
it,
existed
and
until
I've
now.
seen articles about it.
Hey, don't compete with Silent. Let the guy talk. What was that, Silent?
I said I've never heard of it until just now.
And I would be afraid to see what's on the inside of it. It would
Yeah,
probably
no thanks.
scare me.
I've definitely heard
No
of it.
thanks.
Sure,
You
there's-
have?
Oh yeah, dude. It's like it was a big thing. Like she put this whole book together of like pictures and stories and stuff. Like it was pretty crazy.
It was
That's
on Oprah's
disgusting.
bestseller.
I mean,
It's
his-
under your
historically-
chair.
Historically, I've heard about this.
That's gross.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it from Pawn Stars.
Have you ever listened to music from a portable cassette player?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
one,
yeah.
Oh,
cassette?
yeah.
No,
I had
I
a
never
Walkman,
had a
baby.
cassette.
I had a Sony one as well too. Shout out to
I
them.
had the Walkman CD.
Yeah, I had a Sony Walkman also.
Yeah, I had a
Walkman,
Walkman
yes.
CD, but I never had a cassette.
I
I had
gotta
both.
say, Sony did make reliable.
Oh yeah.
Oh
they
yeah, in the
made such
90s?
stuff.
Oh my god, dude. It was all Sony in my house.
I'm surprised Sony never made like an iPod Zune comparable device because they did dominate the market for such a long time. We're all just now
did.
even agreeing that they used to make some of the best stuff and they never made something.
No,
Oh,
they
right.
did. They did. It just got crushed by the iPod.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
iPod
God.
came out.
Yeah.
and
I
it's
mean,
like,
it's true.
it's like, what are
Yeah.
you gonna do after that?
It's true.
Have you ever fixed a cassette tape with
Yep.
a pencil?
No.
Yes, I have.
That's a no.
Mhm.
Doug, you were an infant.
I never used cassettes.
No, he's unexperienced. Have you ever recorded a song off
Yes.
the radio?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
No. My dad
100%.
used
My
to.
dad,
he tells
yeah,
me.
I don't think
yeah,
I ever
was gonna
did.
say my
100%.
dad
I
did,
have.
but no.
Mhm.
I don't even think I would know how to.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
And lastly, have you ever been woken up by a Sony Dream Machine radio alarm clock?
Or
Nope.
one that looks like it. That's a yes.
Yeah,
one
rewind
that
it
looks
back.
Yes,
like
one that
super
looks like
good.
a. I didn't have the Sony one, but I had an alarm clock. so-
What? Mister, everything in my house was Sony.
Except the
one
alarm
thing he's
clock.
like, yeah,
No,
but
but
that's the one
no,
thing I
but Will,
didn't
it's
have.
not Sony specifically. Just any old alarm
No,
clock
I
that used to
agree.
like.
I'm just laughing that he just made a comment that everything in his house was Sony.
It really was.
This is the
except
first
alarm
Sony
clock.
product, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't have that one.
Nope.
Yeah,
I had a
not that
different
one.
brand, same deal."
Exactly.
All right, going Swahili across the board here. All right, who is the oldest goober of them all? First baby infant is
Definitely Doug.
yeah. Doug has 21. Will
Woohoo! Drinking age.
has 26.
Mm.
I
Damn, I pulled away from Doug.
have
Oh.
25.
I'm the oldest. Great.
And Silent has 28.
Ooh.
You are just barely older than Will, as
Mhm.
Will has 26.
Dude, I came back.
Brad Richardson, what'd you come up with at the end here? Did you keep enough counts? Ricky, I don't know if you were here for the whole thing to get a total number, but that was our test to see who's the oldest elder millennial amongst us. I don't want to make this claim that it has any bearing on how old we are. I just think it's that Doug is uncultured and unexperienced. He was there for it. He just didn't go outside and experience it. You know, I didn't
Cassettes were-
unwind. Go ahead, Doug.
Cassettes were before our time, Alex. I had
What?
all CDs, man. All CDs. I never had cassettes, man. It was all CDs.
Oh my God. I can tell you my Shrek cassette tape got worn out.
I had the
Orange
Shrek
I had
CD.
both.
Shrek cassette tape. and I see Doug getting that thing totally wound out. Tapes just, Mom! I never had to get a pencil and unwind it, but
Dude, he
Martha
paid-
did.
We
paged his
used
dad
all
going, "What the
CDs,
fuck?"
man. We were in the 20.
He's paging his
21st.
dad. Dad. Dad.
Is this thing on?
Cassette tape. This thing on.
Testing 1, 2.
Silent. How does it feel being
I
the
can't
oldest
believe you
one?
guys never paged anyone. That's
I mean,
the
I'm-
real thing.
To be honest, I'm not surprised. I was very, very tapped into culture, and I had a computer when I was 5. So
He
you know what
was
I'm saying?
tapped
Like
in.
I
He's
was
an
I was
old culture man.
extremely tapped in, you know? So a lot of like pop culture things I've seen, and you know,
Well, you know
I've
what?
been on the
You
internet a very
saying
long
that,
time ago too.
I'm surprised like the Palm Pilot wasn't in this. Like
yeah.
that was a huge piece that
Or
never
any of the
really-
Nokias either. Like I said, the 6610, like that was the first like color Nokia.
Well,
And that's
actually,
a big reason why I bought it too.
we're
is
talking
because it
about
was the
that.
first one.
BlackBerry is a great point to bring up. I'm actually surprised iPhone or iPod wasn't on that list, dude.
Yeah.
Who didn't have an iPod back in the day?
Or an iMac,
specifically?
even the transparent one. They bought up the transparent cordless phone, but not the transparent iMac, which a lot of schools had.
Well, I think, but what they're trying to indicate is by the time the iPod was out, there were younger generations to have experienced it
Oh, that's
that
true.
would not have
Mhm.
experienced the cassette. Like
Yeah.
all these things are just old enough for millennials to catch, but
yeah.
not Gen Z.
I would have
or-
expected them though to have like the CD like stuff. Like I used to have the hardcore CD thing that you could drop and jiggle and it would still play. Like I'm surprised it didn't
I
have.
love a
any
good drop
CD
and
stuff
jiggle.
on there. Little drop and jiggle, man. Who didn't drop their CDs back in the day?
Oh man, boy,
Yeah,
did they
there's-
jiggle.
This list is a very good reminder of how fast technology accelerated from like 1995 to like 2005. There was a lot that happened in that decade. A lot.
And I gotta agree with Brad here. His comment, like, I am surprised they did not have Atari on the list. Like, I played
Yeah.
Atari. Like, not many people played the old school like Sega Atari stuff back in the day. That I
Brad
would've
at
expected.
least makes Silent feel a little bit better.
Right?
He's
Just
he's
a
the
bit.
oldest of the millennials, and he's probably like, I'm not even a millennial, but hey, welcome, you're one of us. we got one of us. So Silent, we're gonna close this plane, land this ship.
We're gonna close this plane.
You know, lock that
Land the
door.
ship, yeah, lock the door.
Off the land.
We're gonna seal the hatch.
We're gonna seal the hatch of the plane.
So, can you do us a favor and tell the folks where they can find you?
Kick.com/Silent Destroyer, live every single day.
That's right. That's it. You don't want to tell them anything else?
I will hopefully be going to a very cool IRL stream this
Oh.
weekend, so definitely stay tuned for that on Saturday.
Ooh, no
Mhm.
mukbanging.
Mhm. No mukbanging this time, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out. I'm not going to say too much, so just stay tuned
Dude,
on
I
Saturday.
had to. He was talking about live streaming mukbangs, and I'm like, all right, I gotta culture myself. I gotta go to Urban Dictionary and learn this one because everything about it,
You didn't know what it was.
streaming a good old mukbang does not read well ever. If you're coming from a place of ignorance.
Yeah.
If you're not in the know, you
Yeah.
go, what the fuck? real quick?
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
that?
dude.
Yeah.
Good old mukbang got you going. The
Yeah.
kids are doing what?
Yeah.
I got a mukbang coming up. Mute. What the fuck was that, man? What are you talking about?
That's right.
It's just eating a lot of food.
That's it. Just
I've
a
been
lot of
mukbanging
food.
for
Yeah.
nobody
do
for
it.
years.
I do
just mukbanging to no
Solo
audience.
mukbanging with no stream and no
Solo
cameras.
Oh wow, we got a group mukbang coming up. Whoa, pause, brother.
Whoa,
Where are we
pause.
going with this?
Big
Where are we going
pause.
with this? That's good. That's
Good
good
old,
fun.
good old mukbang. All right, so guys, thank you for joining us. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We appreciate everybody that joined us. Brad Richardson and Ricky, Just Another Day TV, everybody that jumped into the comments, because the whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. So we appreciate you diving into the comments and adding another perspective and dynamic to the show, because that's the whole purpose of us being here. But otherwise, we made you laugh. We made you think. The best thing you could do to support this show is share that link. If you liked it and you enjoyed it, that means someone else will too. So again, in this war against algorithms and a tough shot at getting in somebody else's feed, the best thing you could do to support what we're doing here on a weekly basis is take that link and share it around. Otherwise, guys, you could find us here every week. We've got a new podcast episode coming out this week. We've got our Sunday show on the Reactions channel, and the football week. I got to drink another ice this weekend because I just keep failing. But you can find it all in one central place, and that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. But otherwise, guys, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you on the next week. Peace.